Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitchhiking Yeti here. Thank you so much for joining me today as I'm on my way to Bryson City, taking you along with me today to do a little walk around in the Bryson City area before we head up to the road to nowhere. One of the Smoky Mountains' most funnest, coolest roadside attractions, I think, is the road to nowhere. Really looking forward to going up there, talking about the history to you. It's been about 3 years, give or take, since I've been to the road to nowhere. Really excited to go back. So it should be a fun day. Thank you for hanging out with me. Let's go ahead and begin. So as we make our way ever so much closer to Bryson City, look across the river here. You see some wigwams over there, some like teepees. We are not too far from Cherokee at all. Kind of cool to see some teepees off in the distance. It's a very interesting river right here, a little body of water, because they have cars, old cars, kind of resting right here on the banks of this river. And I guess they put it there to keep the river from, washing away the bank itself. So those cars just kind of keep all the earth in place to where this river, when it gets raging, I guess it will not wash away all the river bank and, have landslides and cave-ins and destroy Highway 19. That's my guesstimation. Don't really know for sure, but a very, very interesting thing to see here. You'll almost miss it unless you walk down these steps right here off of Highway 19 and look to the right, and you can sure enough see some old cars just kind of right along the bank right here. Okay, and I found a map right here of Swain County. We're actually right here in this area, right there where Highway 19 crosses over the river. We're gonna go check out Bryson City, as I said earlier, and then we're gonna make our way up here to the road to nowhere, and we're gonna talk about the history of the road to nowhere and why do they call it the road to nowhere? Well, you're gonna see today. Okay, just inside of Bryson City, North Carolina, right here off of Highway 19. Look at this awesome signage right here, the old Rosewood Inn. But unfortunately, this is the only thing that is left of the Rosewood Inn Motel. It has been demolished. Still has the sign though. It says room phones, king size beds, courtesy coffee, pool and porch rockers, remote cable TV, rooms overlooking the river, and got the vacancy right there at 265 Highway 19. But it is long gone. There is no more Rosewood Inn. It has completely been destroyed, removed, and right there is the old railing and ladder for the swimming pool that they had. How crazy is that? Things are always changing, change very quickly. And this inn was actually kind of a cozy riverside architecture vibe to it. It was a classic motor court vibe. Built back in the 1960s, so for several decades, this place greeted folks who wanted to stay here in Bryson City, North Carolina. Pretty cool. All right, I made my way over here to Everett Street in downtown Bryson City. These old buildings right here, really cool. But this one right here really jumps out at me. Look at that neon sign that hangs off the side of this. It's the old Bryson City Drug Company store. So the building housing the Bryson City Drug Company signage has a storied past. Originally built around 1905, it was home to Bennett's Drug Store, a family-run pharmacy that also served up sodas, milkshakes on its marble-top counter. It remained a community staple for nearly a century until changing hands in the early 1990s. The location now operates a classic antique and gifts, embracing its own piece of local history. But yeah, man, that is really cool. I really enjoy the sign. I'm gonna walk over there and see if I can get a little bit of closer look at it now. That's pretty cool. Yeah, check that sign out. I like that, Bennett's Drugs. That is really, really nice. It's a classic look to it. And this is a cool place, man. Look at all the records, the vinyl they have here in this antique store. Got some Kiss. I'm a huge Kiss fan, and they must be big Kiss fans too, because look at that right there. Right there is the end of the road tour. They have some Funko Pops and stuff like that here. And then right here is a cool Destroyer. It says retro poster from the Destroyer area, which is my favorite Kiss album. It's one with Detroit Rock City, Beth, Shout It Out Loud. A lot of favorites on that album. Made my way over here to Bunky's on Everett. T-shirt, jewelry, and gift store. Looks like they got a lot of really cool stuff in here. Neat t-shirt designs, hats. But they also have this neat looking Bigfoot here. I don't think I've ever seen a Bigfoot here in the Smoky Mountains designed quite like this guy. Because instead of his hair being like grooved and kind of chiseled in, they actually got pieces of wood attached all over his body to kind of make his fur. Looks really awesome looking. Kind of gives you a like kind of a tree beard vibe to it from Lord of the Rings. Just in my opinion. Kind of cool. Very big dude, and definitely do not climb on Bigfoot here at Bunky's. All right, this is really cool. Right here on the corner of Everett Street and Mitchell Street, they have a train caboose out here, which Bryson City has always been known for their trains. They have the Great Smoky Mountain Train. You can actually take some rides from Bryson City in and around the area through the mountains, riversides. Really awesome thing. A lot of people do that. But yeah, they got a caboose right here, so it would be a great opportunity to maybe take a photo in front of the Bryson City, North Carolina, GreatSmoky.com train caboose. Okay, right here's the Bryson City Depot ticket and information for the train. And luck have it, the train is here. It's right here beside the depot at this very moment. Let's walk over here and get a shot of it. Look at that. How cool is that? That is awesome. All right, looks like all these people back here, they have already bought their tickets for their train ride. Gonna have a little fun today. Beautiful day, the sun's out. Perfect day to take a Great Smoky Mountain Railroad ride. Nice. All right, you can't come to Bryson City without trying out a place called Heavenly Fudge. They got fudge, chocolates, brittle, candies, and some coffee on the inside, and they're open. The open sign is on, so let's walk inside and check it out. They serve Hershey's ice cream here, and they got bottled Cokes, which is always a big plus. I don't know what it is about a bottled Coke, but I've always really enjoyed it. So here's some of the ice cream flavors that they have here on tap. They got some butter pecan, strawberry cheesecake. Oh, I got a friend of mine that would love to try that out right there. That is the oatmeal cookie craving. I've never tried oatmeal. I've heard it's really good. It's too early in the day for me to eat ice cream, so I don't have to pass on that. Got a caramel cheesecake, cookie monster, some peach. There's a Roadrunner raspberry. Very interesting. Right there's what it looks like. And by the way, that is what the oatmeal ice cream looks like right down in there. So very interesting. A lot of good flavors right here. They got Midnight Caramel River. Look at how chocolatey that is. Holy crap. And then right there they got the Chocolate Extreme. And it is very, very chocolatey. And of course, it is a fudge store. They have a lot of different like bark and things like that. Different candies that you can choose from here. Look at all this good stuff. And look at the fudge right here. We have a bourbon pecan right here. It looks really good. Right there's a maple brown sugar. They even have a margarita. Peanut butter fudge. Chocolate peanut butter fudge right there. Really nice. Rocky Road. Always a good one. What's this here? Chocolate salted caramel. That looks really, really tasty. There is not a shortage of food locations here in Bryson City, that's for sure. We have this little store right here called Honey Bear's Bakery and More. Right next door to that, we got the Chocolate Shop. And then right over here, we have this place called Everett Street Diner. And man, look at the crowd of folks out there waiting to get in to eat some breakfast. Probably at the butt end of breakfast this morning. They do got really good gravy biscuits, I was told, so I would be lined up if I was hungry right now to go get some gravy biscuits from the diner. I bet that would be really good. Anytime I come to some of these old towns I visit, you always try to find a theater. And sure enough, right here is the Smoky Mountain Community Theater, which they have an open house coming up on Saturday, September 13th from 6 to 8. Come join us. Everyone welcome. This theater has some really interesting history to it. Originally, it was called the Gem Theater, and it was opened way back in 1950 by Gomer E. Martin. So pretty awesome. And right here is the ticket booth right out front, as you can see. So right over my head is the marquee, but you can actually see up through this marquee. It's not a solid marquee like some of the theaters I have shown in the past. Right here they have their ticket booth. And look, you got to walk up the hill to the 2 double doors to go inside to check out a show, which I don't think, looks like they're doing quite a bit of work in there, doing some renovations, some drywall work and things like that. But by September 13th, it looks like they're going to have it completed, and you can come up here and check it out for yourself here in Bryson City, North Carolina. If you're a fan of old theaters and you're here in the area, man, heck, I'd stop in and say hello. And right here in the middle of the downtown area, they have this rainbow trout right here, which I can imagine rainbow trout fishing is probably pretty popular here in the Bryson City area with all the streams and creeks and so on and so forth. Right here across Everett Street behind me is the Swain County Heritage Museum. And I gotta say, man, that is a very Dukes of Hazzard looking building. Very epic looking. I love the color, and I love that gold top up there. It looks really cool with that clock. All right, I think that's gonna pretty much do it here for Bryson City. Now we're gonna move up the road a piece to the road to nowhere. Really excited to show you the road to nowhere, just in case you've never seen it before. So let's go ahead and head in that direction, shall we? Okay, as you travel to the road to nowhere, have this neat little pull off right here with this beautiful view. Look at those mountains up there and those clouds off in the distance. Clouds are really like hanging down on top of the mountain. And right below you see the Tuckasegee River. I hope that's the way you pronounce that. But I absolutely love this location right here. It's so beautiful and peaceful right here until all the motorcycles come down the road with their music blaring. But other than that, this is a great spot. And you're almost to the road to nowhere. Really close when you get to this overlook. Okay, right here to the left where these folks are walking up the hill, this is actually the parking area for the road to nowhere. They have these stanchions over here. It kind of blocks off the road to keep you from driving any further up that way. And that is where the tunnel is located. And we're going to walk up that way now. But first, I want to give you a little history about the road to nowhere and why they call it a broken promise. So during World War II, the Tennessee Valley Authority built Fontana Dam to generate electricity that was vital for aluminum production for the Manhattan Project. This led to the flooding of Swain County's communities and Highway 288, resulting in displacement of hundreds of families and displacement of ancestral cemeteries and homesteads. To compensate, the federal government promised to construct a new 30-mile road called Lakeview Drive, also known locally as the North Shore Road, along the north side of Fontana Lake to restore access to the communities. So once that promise was made, construction begins. Work on Lakeview Drive began in the 1940s. By the early 1970s, about 6 to 7 miles had been completed, including a tunnel that now marks the abrupt end to the road. However, construction halted when environmentalist concerns surfaced. An Anakeesta rock formation along the route released sulfuric acid when exposed to the elements, posing a threat to the waterways and wildlife. So paired with rising costs, the project was deemed infeasible to continue, thus the road stopped mid-mountain, earning its nickname, the Road to Nowhere. And as you can see right here in front of me is the entrance to the tunnel to the road to nowhere. So the unfulfilled agreement weighed heavily on Swain County. In 2000, Senator Jesse Helms, Congressman Charles Taylor secured a $16 million federal funding to try to revive the project. Yet, in 2007, environmental impact study concluded that the road's completion would cause major adverse and long-term impacts, effectively killing the plan for good. In 2010, a settlement was agreed upon. $52 million would be paid to Swain County in lieu of building the road. But payments were slow. Only about $12 million was delivered initially. By the time 2018 rolled around, the final installment of $35.2 million was paid. fulfilling the county's long-delayed compensation. Today, the principal remains with the state treasury, and Swain County uses interest income annually. All right, so that is a little history about the road to nowhere. You can see a lot of water seepage going on as it's actually going down the middle of this road right here. And this is such a sad thing to see, but I'm going to tell you something. It looks pretty awesome here in the summertime, because last time I was here, it was kind of in the late fall, almost winter. It was freezing cold up here. I will put a link down in the description below. But this right here is what it looks like. It's just a tunnel going through this mountain. You have this paved road right here, and we're going to walk through the tunnel. It is extremely dark. I wish I would have brought a flashlight, but you can see to the other end slightly, but it is still very dark in there. Look at the moss kind of growing on the rock work up there. Definitely has a creepy vibe to it, that's for sure. So let's go to the other side, and as you will see when we get there, there's no road over there. They just kind of halted everything right here. How it was deemed the name, the road to nowhere. As my wife is actually standing in the darkness. It is a heck of an echo in here, by the way. A lot of wall art, as you can imagine. A lot of graffiti. Yeah, it is very, very dark in here. Even with, you know, the light from each end of the tunnel itself, the openings, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can't see, if I just turn the camera here, you can barely see me because of the light from behind us, but when you're on the inside, there's just not a lot to see. It is just so dark. My wife is actually using her camera phone light to kind of look at the walls a little bit, but it's just a lot of crude, you know, paint jobs. You know, you can't help but to think when you're walking through a tunnel like this, it's as long as this thing is. I think it's maybe like 600 feet long or something. But, man, you can't see snakes. There might be a snake in here. That would be kind of frightening. And, you know, if a bear got in here with you, that would really be bad. There's nowhere to hide. All right, things are lightening up. We're making it to the other side. If you do come here, just to give you a little heads up, it can be a little on the muddy side. So, yeah, and the water wants to run like down the middle in a lot of cases. So, man, had to tread lightly or it wouldn't smush into the mud. All right, we made it. Right here's the end of the tunnel. Made it to the other side. Now here toward the back end of it, I will say it got a little bit more muddy. So a lot of the rain that's been going on here that kind of washes off this hillside, it just goes downhill into the tunnel. So that was a little bit grody, but all in all, this is what it looks like over here on this side of the tunnel. Kind of give a quick little turnaround, but that's it. There's some more people. They did the same little adventure. They're walking through also. You do have paved road on this side, and we'll walk down a little bit further down the road, and then it just ends. It very abruptly ends and just turns into a regular hiking trail. Okay, so right here is where it pretty much ends. You can see even the wood pylons along the road. Stops right here, and right here is where the end of the pavement is. Right there, there's the last little bit of pavement that they poured when they was working on the project. And then the rest of this is just dirt. And it just turns into a mountain hiking trail at that point. But it's very fascinating to come up here and check this out. Really is neat. It's a cool roadside attraction thing to do. If you enjoy hiking, you know, there's plenty of stuff here to do. Hiking trails and so on and so forth. It's very quiet out here. Just you and nature, that's for sure. All right, so last time I was here, I actually climbed up to the top. Say hello to my wife. I actually climbed up to the top of the tunnel, and I think since I'm here, let's just go ahead and do that again. So I'm gonna walk right up here. They got a little path over here on the side. Maybe we can just scamper right up through here and go up there at the top, just to have a view. All right, there we go. Up the hill we go, man. People come out here and spray paint rocks and everything also. As you can see, spray paint all kinds of stuff up here. And this big rock over here, I remember this last time too. It smells kind of funny up here. I think people come up here and make their own facilities, if you know what I mean, because there is no bathrooms here in this location. It does, it smells a little, you know, not very friendly. Down there's my wife. I'll wave back at her, say hello. But this is what the top of the bridge looks like, or the tunnel. I'm thinking bridge because I'm on top of the tunnel, but right there's where the road to nowhere, it ends right around that corner. That's where we was located. All right, I'm gonna make my way back down this hill very gingerly, because even though it's kind of cool today, there's a lot of bugs out here. Kind of feel like I'm back at the beach. There's little no-see-ums. They're buzzing around your ears. Hate those things, man. But I will say this. Snakes kind of is a thing here. Copperheads, maybe rattlers, rattlesnake. Good thing about a rattlesnake, at least he will warn you when you come close in his like area. Copperheads I hate worse, because they're sneaky. They won't move. They won't do nothing. They will just sit there and you won't see them because they just camouflage in to the leaves. And there's a lot of leaves here and just perfect little rocks and hiding places for both of those guys. So I'm getting off of this thing. All right, that there was a big group of folks just walked through the tunnel itself. It was crazy listening to them talk when when I was on the outside. It was like, it almost sounded like a thunderstorm coming through the tunnel. There's so many echoes, you can't even make out like what people are saying. It's just a lot of noise and bass. I got an idea. Next time they make a Batman movie, why don't they use this as the entrance to the Batcave? And the Batmobile, you know, flies down through here, gaining speed as it leaves the Batcave. That would be pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of Tim Burton, the 1989 Batman movie, when he were like in his Batcave sequence. You know, it's just so straight and everything. Put you a little gate right there on the end of it. Make the gate go up and the Batmobile flies out of it. Just a nerdy thing to say, I know. Oh man, that feels good. There's a nice little breeze in this tunnel. It's so cool in here. It's very nice. It's kind of humid today, even though it's not super hot. All right, my friends, I think that will pretty much do it for me today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I had a great time in Bryson City. I love seeing the old theater. We got to see the Bennett's drugstore and talk about a little bit of history about the drugstore there. Really awesome place, cool neon sign. We also got to see the train in the station. I thought that was really a lot of fun. And then, of course, we got to go walk through the tunnel, the road to nowhere. Really cool thing. Really appreciate you guys taking your time to hang out with me today. Appreciate it so much. Until next time, friends, I am the Hitchhiking Yeti, and I will see you in my next adventure. Y'all stay safe, and hope to see you all again soon.